Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another episode of the Conversation Capital with myself, Ursula Mariani, your host, and the voice of reason, Sis B. How you doing, baby girl?
I'm good, sis. How are you?
I am awesome, thank you. I'm ready with my reflection. Okay, so this is the Get Ready With Me episode if you guys are new to it. What happens in the Get Ready With Me episode? Ideally, I'm supposed to be getting ready with my makeup, but it's the end of the day. We were in a rush earlier for shoot day, and so it's the end of the day. We're eating, we're wrapping up, and we're going to go through some of your comments and queries, and we're going to have discussions around it. So that's myself, Bonga, and Given. Hi, Given.
Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm awesome, thank you. And that's what we're going to be doing now during the Get Ready With Me episode. So this is why you guys should leave comments, right? This is why you should subscribe. This is why you should hit the notification bell so that you can be a part of the community and you can really just get involved in the discussion. So I'm going to be eating. I'm not putting on makeup. As you can see, I've already got makeup on. It's the end of the day. And we start off with reflections. My reflection is ready.
You can go?
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm ready with it because the last Get Ready With Me, I didn't have a reflection. And people said, oh, try So today I'm ready with my reflection. I actually have a few reflections. Can I eat? I'm starving. But one of the reflections that I've really wanted to share, I'm sure for over a month now, was the other day I'm sitting with my mom in church, né? And she says to me, we're chatting actually. She doesn't say anything to me. We're chatting. And next to me, I'm sitting in between like a kid, between my parents in church. And my dad keeps like, guys, keep it down, Then we're like, okay, cool. Then 5 seconds and then, and we keep going at it again. And my dad's like, I said, guys, and we're like, oh, sorry. And we keep quiet for another 5 seconds. And mom's like, Mara. And my dad eventually is like, now, really upset with me and my mom, like, you guys better keep quiet. You guys are embarrassing me type of thing.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I had this flashback to my mom when my mom was this parent. And me and my brother used to chat in church. And my mom would do the worst thing. 3 minutes before the sermon ends, and when a pastor's wrapping up as an adult, 3 minutes before the sermon ends, she would write a note. I'm quizzing you after church. After watching us chat the whole time. She says, and if you don't get it right, get on the sharp. So me and my brother, the last 3 minutes of the sermon would be trying to concentrate so we get the quiz right,
Yeah.
And shame, she never really quizzed us. I don't remember her ever quizzing us, but it would put so much pressure on us. And I looked at her and I couldn't help but remember that woman who used to do that and how she was so removed from a young person that would want to laugh and chat in church. And I looked at her and I thought, oh my gosh, that scary mom was always just a girl. Just trying her best to parent.
Yeah.
And if anything, maybe let her little talk. I just looked at her and I looked at my dad playing this role of like, you two better stop it. And I just remembered how these people, she's just a girl. And even my dad in other instances has proved that he's just a boy, and sometimes we harbor so much. And I've got a very good relationship with my parents, but people that have very strained relationships with their parents, I always say, surely you haven't gotten to a place where you're a parent yet, because when you're a parent, I really do believe that you see yourself winging it all the time. And just being a young kid who's now got to parent. And the role of a parent feels so far and so removed when you're a child. Like, this person has it all together. This person can concentrate during the sermons. This person can work hard. This person can study because I get a right? They play that role. And the older you grow, there's something that happens with that relationship. I mean, we had the lady, Lerato, who came. Remember Lerato when Lerato came to our show?
Yes.
And she said, I didn't have a very good relationship with my mom, but now I'm starting to have a good one. And I said it in the episode. I said, that's just a function of age.
Yes.
You get to 24, 25, where you look at them and you're like, how? You don't have all the answers. How muswena omutufela? Actually, you're not this all-knowing, all-being of authority, that knows everything. You're actually just a girl who's really just trying their best. And of course, I'm much older than that now, but I had that another moment of like, oh my God, these people deserve a lot more grace
And compassion.
Empathy. That we understand when we're like in the teenage era and in the early 20s era. Because he's just a boy. Your dad is just a boy. He's never been a parent before. Your mom is just a girl. She's never been a parent before, and it was such a beautiful, and it's just landed with me so much. And I love the friendship phase that I'm at with my parents. Yeah.
And you're bringing such an important conversation that's actually happening a lot on social media, where our peers, I don't know if it's the conversation is happening or it's a function of our age. So it seems like the conversation is happening when actually it's always been there. Perhaps we just
weren't privy to it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Where people speak about how, actually my mother was navigating so much, and now that I'm a lot older, I understand the type of things my parents were navigating. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. I don't remember if I did this reflection.
Can I just comment on Ursula's reflection very quickly? I am battling with the idea of not harboring any resentment towards parents because of the decisions they made and the pressure they were under. And the reason is because there are some things that I look back on, and I have a few friends who want to have many kids, like 6 being many, 6 plus. And I often say to them, Guti, make that be a very intentional decision, because I can guarantee you now that, or let me not say guarantee you, don't take for granted that 1 or 2 of your kids may actually resent you for having so many of them. They may actually be thinking to themselves, I wish you had stopped at 4, because I feel like you didn't have enough capacity for me. And I take that so seriously, and I take that so personally, because I feel like mothers especially, but parents in general, we do give them a card of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, when you give someone a card to say, it's like
a free pass.
A free pass,
yeah.
exactly. I wanted to use like a, immunity.
Yeah.
We give them a free pass, and I think maybe perhaps I'm introducing balance more than anything, that there are those who are valid for looking at their parents and saying, as in, guys, but y'all don't know this person. I wish they had made better decisions, because it left a mark.
And as a parent, I always say, Asante didn't choose to come onto earth. I chose to bring her, or we chose to bring her. So it's my duty to make sure she has the best experience.
Yes.
A few years from now, she may say to me, but the best experience is not me being the only child. Girl, I wish I had a sibling. So it's like, it's you
never
think
know.
you're doing the best.
But
And
that's
it
the
may
point
not
of what
be.
I'm saying, that realizing that they're just winging it as well. Not to say that they made the right decisions all the time, but seeing the humanity in who they are.
And given there's actually a lady who wrote a book on this. She speaks about the mother wound, like being hurt by your mother. And not to say you are doing this, Ursula, but a lot of people do this, where they disregard the fact that there are people who have terrible relationships with their parents, or their parents are just terrible people. And there's nothing you can say or do.
Yeah.
They're just horrible people. And I'm hoping to one day, I forgot her name, but my friend is reading her book, so I will get her name.
Yeah.
And it's just to bring someone onto the podcast to say, it's not all the time where your parent-child relationship will be great. And it's not everyone who automatically loves their child.
True.
It's not that, or has the best interests of a child. There are relationships out there, and kids who will go out of their way to try salvage the relationship.
Yes.
But actually, you're just a terrible human being. You just happen to be my parent.
Yeah.
I actually want to speak to that, because I remember there was this one specific friend, because I've got such a good relationship with my parents, and I was like, no, your mom is not that bad. And every time she would tell me a story, I was like, damn. But no, so it can be quite annoying to be with an Ursula in the friendship, because I mean, after like years of maybe 2 years of this friendship, of this person convincing me that my mom is really that bad. And she eventually did. She made me see that her mom really always put herself first before her, and it was an interesting revelation for me that you can't blanket it. Not every parent is a great parent. And even though I'm advocating for grace for your parents, there is that element to it, that some parents...
And the choices they make.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if I did. Please remind me if I did. But did I speak about how there's a company that implemented a policy of having maternity PPE launched for women? Kumba, I know. So I work in manufacturing. So we wear PPE. This is what is protective something, but it's what you wear when you work in a certain environment. I think most people will be privy to it. We'll just Google and come back with the proper wording. So this company Kumba INO implemented maternity PPE.
Sorry, Bonga, before you start your thing, can I just say I'm trying to eat this Nando's as neatly and as ladylike as I can. But it's going down and I'm about to go into the chicken. Kupales kankeza meme. Please doch. Bonga, please go on.
I just want to Google what PPE stands for.
Personal protective equipment.
Yes. So for maternity, and I found this to be so awesome because it's something that's often overlooked. A person who's pregnant would often wear just the bigger size, or just have to be in whatever, or something will be done. But I found this to be amazing, and it was launched during Women's Month, so we didn't get to this reflection, but it's just to say it's good to see companies having much more progressive laws, even in things that you would think are really not that, not many of us would think PPE should be made maternity friendly, but it's actually a serious thing. I can think of a few cases where I'm like, she could have used this maternity wear, because it also speaks to the inclusion aspect, to say you can still be a woman in mining, a woman in engineering, a woman in a particular field, and still be seen, continue working and represented. So I thought it was an awesome thing. Yeah.
Bonga, this is a tricky one for me, and I'll tell you why. Because no anti-feminist movement, I am a feminist. But there's a part of me that feels, have we fought for equal rights to the point where we're disadvantaging ourselves? For me, ideally, if I was a woman in engineering, from around 6 months, I want to be taken off the hard tasks that need PPE.
No, you are often given light duty.
Yeah, so for me, encouraging PPE, I'm not saying that this is what they're saying, but to the extent where now I'm like 9 months deep into this and I'm underground in the mines, 9 feet, like the feminist argument, where do we pull back on it?
The most important thing with the feminist argument is the choice. It's the choice.
I hear
It's
you.
the choice.
Lovely.
It's not that I'm
Lovely.
taking this away, no, you have the option to say, actually, okay, no, to be honest, I work in human resources, so there's a point you reach where it's unsafe for you to be doing certain tasks. So there, it's straightforward. But remember, it's a choice to say you have the option to
continue.
Yeah. And if not, you have the right to, sit down. Your doctor can recommend that it's the option. And I want us to always remember that. It's the choice. Yeah.
What's your reflection, Given?
Given is still chewing on the Nando's.
Your Nando's deep there. Hey, we see.
I have two. I think both Nje have just been at the top of my mind for quite a while. The first one being, am I the only one, guys, whose parents just call and say, give me your ID, I'm busy with something now? Is that like a thing black parents do?
No, I'm not even going to call out which parent, but you know yourself. You know you do that to me as well.
Guys, and Elento makes me so uncomfortable because they won't even explain Uti Benzani with your ID. And
No,
this is
because
such
they
a sensitive
own you.
thing.
They
Exactly.
own you and your ID.
Yes, guys, this thing rubs me the wrong way. I mean, when I was younger, it wasn't an issue. Now that I understand that a person can marry you with your ID, can literally find out when you have a wife somewhere. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's the first thing.
Nizophutwa ama-million ile overthinking. Bayan
Bayan Kavarala.
cover in case.
You know what's the thing? I think it's just a matter of just having the conversation with me just to ease me. Good, hey, I just want to cover you. Don't give me the details. Just at least what do you do? But I was asking myself, is this a black parent thing? Oh, Jamie, am I overreacting? Anyways, I gave the
My
ID,
parents
so I
must do
don't
bad.
know what happened.
My
What my
parents
mom
must do
did.
better. They've never asked for my ID.
I feel you, Given.
Mama, Papa,
I'm a police.
please ask for my ID.
All right, the second one might be a bit controversial, but yeah, I've been thinking about this quite deeply. I think sons should be left a greater inheritance. And I think it's specifically because of how much the world asks from men financially. Where even the two of you have looked at me and been like, nigga, this is just how it is. Women are taken out, you pay. In the house, a man is expected to pay for rent. This is just how it is, right? And unless society ever shifts or changes, and I realize what I'm saying, but I'm speaking from the perspective, first of all, of being a man, knowing what was expected of me to buy a ring, to first of all have a car to impress you. Before I even bought the ring, I need to have a good job and I need to have a car to impress you. And then secondly, I need to then make sure that when we get a house, I need to make sure that I'm the one paying the rent. And then on top of that, I need to make sure that I'm taking you out even before we get married. I'm expected to pay for dates before I've tasted anything on you, right? So
Taste time.
hayi
Taste time,
cooking ngizwe izandla zakho ukuthi zitaste kanjani. You understand what I mean? Like, okay, I'm speaking with under the assumption that a presumption that I'm speaking to adults, and
course.
also censoring enough, knowing that we do have that younger audience.
Absolutely.
But I feel strongly about this, guys. I realize that it's controversial, but there's no way that we are fighting for women to get paid equally as men, but yet expect men to perform more financially. For me, I think your family should look out for you, because your family knows, right, that out there in the world, financially, more is going to be expected of you.
Sure.
So you do
interesting.
need a financial head start. Where am I getting it if the office isn't giving it to me?
I know that in China, it is like that. The boy child gets given more because of the burden. My argument would be shouldn't you then be advocating, listen, I'm not saying that this is what I would want, because I do believe, hey, take me out on a date and pay, right? So there is a contrast or contradiction in how far my feminism goes. I would assume it's arguable, because I also believe that men should pay because they do have the upper hand in society, and generally speaking, we know the numbers show that a man and a woman can have the same position in work and a man earn more. And that inequality says to me, you should be paying for the date. We're not at a place where we are earning the same for the same job. Fine. And I know this factually. There's also numbers that prove it. But fine. Shouldn't you be advocating more then for true equality in society? In the sense that, shouldn't you be advocating that a man shouldn't have to pay on the first date, then you asking for more inheritance? Meaning the argument should be, seeing that you want us to be seen as equals, and seeing that I show up so much in helping with the child, in helping with cooking, in helping with the generic or generalized women's roles, you need to come on board with the men's roles. Shouldn't that be the argument over, I should get more inheritance because I'm doing so much?
Not well. My thought is not no. The reason being, there is nothing wrong with it's not depends on how you look at equality, right? I don't think we will ever achieve, first of all, perfect equality. Yeah. Also, I don't think there's anything wrong with societies that perceive men as, like I've said before in the past, I do believe that women do have an inherent innate desire to have financial security. And I mean,
not provided by themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And men have a tendency to want to show up for that. That's a balance, right? You have that, and men have their innate desires as well, which we don't like talking about. But men love sexual security. Right? Absolutely. Men love sexual security. They find comfort in that. There is
Bunga, did you know that?
This is a problematic statement.
Okay.
But this is I'm saying it like with caution. It stems from the
Sorry, I just wanted to say this slaps more of this, yeah?
It stems, but sayings like, you don't get angry with your
Down the
part.
waist, yes.
Yeah, down the waist
Yes.
stem from that. Like you can ninja a man anything, not that.
Yeah,
Guys,
it's
but of course we are-
controversial
Please
to
comment
say.
below if you've ever heard of the term sexual security. But yes, please continue.
Oh no, I did definitely make that up now, as in the term itself.
But it's a cool
The
one.
term.
Yes, yeah.
And it's
I have
real.
heard a psychologist, I just forgot her name. She does a TED talk and she talks about how men cheat, women cheat to leave their marriages. When a woman cheats, she's already left. Men cheat to stay. I'm not getting it here, and I love this person. I don't want to fight with you every time. I'm going to go out there, sort myself out, so that here at home, you and I are fine. I'm not talking about that being right or wrong. I'm not making that statement.
Okay.
I'm making the statement that men have innate desires within us, just like you guys have innate desires. We just don't have the same. And the reason is because as human beings, I can't provide for you what you can provide for me. Otherwise, why do we need each other? If we both have innate financial desire, now we must go both take each other out for dates and feel the same amount of, I suppose I like comparing it to the need. Sand or soil or ground has a different need than the ocean does. Right? And they coexist, right? Yeah. So I love to perceive it that way. So yeah, so in answering your question, no, I do think that perhaps moving towards that balance might to some extent benefit society, but I do think that some people will be doing it because this is where we find ourselves. Because now we have this balance. I'll take a man out because what am I going to do? Mara kahle kahle, deep inside, that's not really what you want to do. And men take pride in being able to make that provision. Yeah.
Sorry.
To be honest, I do not have an opinion on this one. I hear you. I hear you. It's one of those where like, yo, I need to simmer in it.
No, I hear you in the sense that because the other element that you bring out is men's innate desire to provide. Because I've even heard, like, women will tell you, don't take that away from a man. You know, to the point where I remember one day, a guy friend, and just a friend, I can actually say his name. He's been on the show, but I'm not going to say his name. Had come visit me. I was an undergrad and we were chilling. And then at some point I needed to change my light bulb. So while we're still chilling and chatting, I then pull my table and I stand on the table and I start. And he said, friend, don't do that to me. I'm still a man. I'm your friend, but I'm still a man. Allow me to do certain manly tasks. If you needed somebody to change a bulb, that's the first thing you should have asked me when I walked into the room. And I remember like, that's interesting. He had seen me as undermining his presence as a man. And I've never forgotten that lesson. We've seen these jokes and memes on social media where a woman is caught carrying a sofa and the husband catches her and realizes she's been fronting the whole time. Because as a girl, you know, when a guy's around you,
Yes.
even though when you're alone, why cook and too?
Yeah.
But when he's around you, hands off, baby, you do it for me. You know, and it gives them that thing, she needs me and I'm the man. In the same way, women need that. I don't want to see my man doing things that are for me. It's my space. I want to know that you need me, you know? You need me as much as I need you. We need each other. And so now when you start doing all these feminine things, it's like, hi, bo, this person is showing me, hey, anytime now, I'm fine without you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think
Yeah.
each person, each gender role needs that. I don't know. It's a tricky one because I believe that the feminist agenda doesn't make room for those nuances. What does gender roles look like? And that's why for me, I always say the feminist agenda for me always stops at personal relationships. Because only two people can decide what's best for them. Meaning that in the workplace, I want a male, female. When it comes to mokholo, I want a male, female. When it comes to PPE, whatever, I want a male, female. But I want within the confines of my home, of the four walls of my home,
Ooh, that's
where
such a
two
good
people
point.
decide. Can we decide what's for us and what's not for us? What works for us and what doesn't work for us? You know?
Ki sound bite ew.
Danke, me sound biting that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So share your comments around this, ne?
Yes, please, share your comments.
Share,
Absolutely.
share.
Love to
Do
hear
you
from you.
think men or the son should be given more? You said son, ne?
Yeah, son.
Should be given more of the inheritance. But isn't it the case, guys, or it's only with the firstborn son? Or you want it to be a standard?
I want it to be a standard.
Yeah, because it's families that can decide.
Yeah, because also for me, I feel like I've grown up as a man, right? As a boy, then into a man. And I've seen that even for people who come with the front of, mina, I'm not so, like Ngatin, it doesn't matter to me that much. It matters to them a lot, actually, right? So, and also I felt the pressure even way before I even married, way before I lived with a woman, the pressure that this is what will be demanded of me. And I know what men do for the sake of just knowing, Guti, I can't have my friend buy this for his wife and then Mina, look what I can provide. I know what that feels like. So I don't want my son to go through some of the like searching yourself or even just looking at your, because so much of our identity becomes tied in what we can provide. So yeah, definitely leave your comment.
There was a friend of mine who was telling me a story of his male friend calling him to say, I can't throw a birthday party for my wife. And she's like, I'll throw a birthday party for myself. And just what it had done to him as a man. So speaking towards that deep innate feeling for men to want to show up for their women as well. And the double standard in that comes from when women will also say stuff like, a man loves you when he wants to take care of you. So these things, but then why don't we incorporate it in reality? And a sister should be able to say, Mom, Dad, give my brother more.
Exactly.
I'm not saying us at home, ne? But you're right. If a woman can really own up and say, no, a man loves me more, when there was even this thingy that said, it was a Nigerian pastor who said, if a man doesn't invest in you in the first 3 months, just know he's not taking you seriously. And I remember it put a lot of pressure on me, but it became like a sort of like way to observe. And we're taught these things, but the opposite end of it means, as now the parents or the family of a boy child, are you supporting that? Are you supporting knowing that there's a girl out there who's looking at your son as though if this boy doesn't show up, I can't give myself to him?
Yes.
And so are you looking at your son as, let's help him show up? And that's why I'm saying I know that culture exists in Chinese families a lot. They help the boy child show up because they know he needs to. It's a tricky place.
And even in our context, I feel, or not even, I feel like that is where we come from in our context. We've had a conversation about it when we were talking about weddings in Nigeria and what weddings look like in other parts of Africa where families band together.
To help them.
To help them, right? It was understood. Uklobola, ulotolelwa umndeni. You have uncles who will come. It's not your cows. There's family cows, which is a concept that doesn't really exist. Obviously, there are those who always point out today, Limpopo. Yes, there are parts of South Africa where that still exists, but for the majority of where we all come from, we know that it doesn't exist. In fact, if anything, you often find that we anticipate that the woman will need. So, because she'll have children. You'll know she'll need a gown one day, a wedding gown. We anticipate the woman's needs rather than the fact that I expect that my son will be providing for a woman one day.
Given, man, guys, this thing is so twofold. I keep going back to corporates, and the system has also made provision for these things. I always make an example. But the numbers show, it's not even a personal example, the numbers show that a man and a woman can hold the same post, but a man will make more. I make an example with a very close, if I say what they are to me, it will be obvious, a relative friend. Let me say friend, I said friend. Friend of mine explained that one day when she was arguing for a raise with regards to the capacity of work that she's taking on, like, I deserve it, this is extra what I do. The man said, you're a woman. You don't have children, and you don't have a husband. What do you want the money for? Which is a conversation that he would never have with a man. When a man wants more money, society assumes that he needs it because he's got so many responsibilities. So there's a part of me that wonders if there isn't already compensation for being a boy child in society at a corporate level. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But here's the thing, ne? The numbers show. However, when we zoom into the numbers, I think this is a thing that we always need to consider about the specifics of numbers, right? When research is done, that is. We always need to be mindful of the fact that when you zoom into the research, if we move from one industry to the other, the gaps are very different, right? And the movement is still moving towards, in other words, society right now is fighting the fight for women to earn equally. So as me sitting here, looking at my boy, knowing what the shifts that are happening, right? I don't know what industry is going to work in. I don't know what the world will look like in 10 years. There are countries that have closed that gap significantly, right? Obviously, and I say this again, also in that statement, industry specific, right? Because different industries, you'll find very different trends and trends and dynamics, right? So I don't know, but one thing I know for sure is that he will grow up in a world where the world expects more from him financially. That'll be something that, I mean, even if you go to countries that are sort of like equal, by equal, I mean countries that have fought salaries and, you know, they're just more progressive. The man still takes the woman out.
Oh, given
Actually,
what
I
you're saying
disagree,
is so,
though.
this
So
is so
true.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because Ursula and I are both good examples of that. We still believe the guy must pay for the date, despite the
But
fact
both
that
of you
we've
are progressive.
progressed.
Exactly.
And I live in South Africa. Men earn more than women. But fine, let's leave that. German men are known for never paying the bill. They always split half and half. Why? There's a lot of equality in those countries. And they're known for it. There's reels and jokes about how when you go out with a German man, it's 50-50.
Yes,
And a lot
yes.
of European. So I'm talking about, I disagree with the fact that more progressive countries, men are showing up to say, Aibo Mukel, you fought for equality. So show up.
Yeah.
And pay half the bill.
Yeah. So
But we don't live in that country.
But
Yes,
Germans
we don't
live in Europe.
are generally known to be stingy.
yeah, but that's the thing. That's
Not that you
why
guys are
that's
stingy,
why
yeah?
the
known to be stingy. We're not saying we're stingy. Yeah.
so that's why it's
Yo.
this is a this did,
Yeah,
obviously
this
it's
is
already
yo.
its own
Taking a
episode
turn,
actually it's
yeah.
already its own episode. So here's the thing, né? That's why there is the reference is towards Germany. It's kind of like how if you go to every continent has a country where there's something that one country itume ngayo.
Yes,
You understand what I mean? And I feel like Germany holds that as far as Europe is concerned. But if you're looking at it from in general, like look at the world in general. Like guys, it's not coincidence that almost every culture you go to, even the fact that Germans are being looked at as, these ones never dated. The fact that we even saying that
Actually.
goes to show good. Actually, this is an odd. It's not the norm.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? They deviated from the norm. That's why we're even pointing them
tease
out.
them, yeah.
And like Nina, you guys are deviating from the norm. Everybody talks about how French men are the most romantic. You know, they plan dates, the language. You know, but anyways, point being, Guti, from where I'm at, and with you also acknowledging our context, let's say maybe those countries are where they're at. From where I'm at, we are far
from that.
From that. And I've seen and I've walked the path of Guti being a man in South Africa and what weight that puts on your shoulders.
Yeah. And you know what, given I see and hear what you're saying, just thinking about women in my circle. They are women who are doing perfectly fine, but trust and believe they still want Indota Master.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it carries nuances, I know, I expected that. But guys, Mina, I know Shem. Right now,
That's
I
an
only have a
interesting-
daughter, but let me get a son.
That is an interesting pivot.
I think it's just difficult when your parents don't maybe live long enough to see that. But I think there are nuances to each family. And I think a parent or parents should be allowed to divide their inheritance according to who they feel needs it. Right? A parent should be allowed to say, not equally, my daughter is unmarried and unemployed and she deserves more, or she needs more, versus my son who is married and he's a CEO of what and he's flourishing, and as a result I'll give him less. I think if you're graced enough with long life, as a parent, you should have autonomy not to make it equal share, because there is a thing that a parent should be equal amongst their children, and I don't. That part I agree. A parent should be able to also be able to be like, hey, my son has a lot more pressure because he has a family, whereas my daughter, who's been taken care of by her husband, doesn't need as much. So I think a parent's autonomy is allowed to take shape. Yeah. Comments and questions. Are we cool?
Yeah.
Guys, please comment. I wanna hear from you guys. Yeah.
Okay. This is from one of our Get Ready With Me episodes on passion and fulfillment in your career. And then in that same episode, we touch on fixing bad podcast audio.
Okay.
Ntabiseng Kubeka says, just to give feedback with regards to this broadcast, it is actually good and audible enough. Thank you for the good work that you do. I found it fitting to start with that comment because it just speaks to the developments we've been making, and Given has been working very hard to correct. And even like I saw people making suggestions. That was so cool.
We appreciate
just to see how our community is just very invested in us doing well. Mr. T Dog 101 says it's not people who are anti-neonatal. It's a system, and it's a global phenomenon. Ever rising cost of living, insecurity, and uncertainty. The world has gone berserk to be wanting to bring children into it. Yeah, no, and it's scary. Bring a child is
That's
scary.
MT who?
This Mr. T Dog 101.
I think it's the one that comments often. I think he comments often, actually. Yeah, definitely Mr. T Dog comments often. I only started thinking this way the more educated I became. Like a certain enlightenment of why would I bring a child into this mess, right? And so when you wrote this comment, I felt it deeply. However, so different phases of your life, it's obviously you must have a child. When you're growing as a young kid, it's obviously you must have a child. Then you start doing undergrad, you start looking at anthropology, you start looking at social dynamics, politics, what's happening in the world, and you become enlightened. And you think, no, and surely why would one want to bring a child into this world? This is my journey. And then now where I'm at, I have the privilege of sitting in on these consultations, and I said it on my WhatsApp status the other day, that I have the privilege of sitting on these consultations with a rheumatologist. And the thing about that process is that usually people that are affected by any rheumatology-related sort of illnesses are usually old and ailing. And I've seen so much the importance of an offspring, of a partner, of those last, I can easily say some of them is like the last 10 years of their life, where they be old and they're frail, and there's so much beauty in a partner or in a child. I remember there was this one lady who came in old and alone, and I thought, oh, here's another single lady. And she kept speaking of her late husband and how she had fallen and her knee was now swollen and blah, 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 blah. And then soon after, as I start doing the examination, I hear, Mommy? And it's like her 50-something-year-old daughter who's coming to check on her. And then she's like, oh, you guys follow me everywhere. It was so funny that like I can't even do a doctor's visit on my own. And then she's like, who complains about love? She looks at me and says, who complains about being loved? And it was funny. It was a laughable moment. But I had this thing to say, unfortunately, it is what it is. It's not about black tax and money. For me, there is an element of being taken care of in a way that a nanny or a caregiver will never take care of you. Even like marriage, And don't get me wrong, we all have a different story, but being in this process right now, where I'm at, I'm seeing a level of beauty in the concept of having a family.
You've spoken like, yeah.
I was looking your words as well. Okay,
yeah.
Next comment.
And then Biblical Dream Interpretations says, I love Given's reflection of finding passion no matter where one finds themselves in life, particularly in the area of career. I sell perfumes and I do digital marketing and podcasting on the side. I studied journalism and I thought that I'll graduate and get a job fast, but life didn't happen that way. I had to adjust and find passion that I'll be entrepreneurial to make meet to make ends meet. And I found love.
Amarula, you etsang? Ke a o vitisa.
No shame, the words are jumbled up.
Ends meet. Please continue.
Hey, Amarula, send more.
You're gonna make me joke.
Okay. To make ends meet, and I found love in that. It fuels me to want more.
Sure.
And then, Lesego, this is a very long comment, but I thought it was very important. Lesego goes on to say, Lesego Montunyane says, "Hey Ursula, look, I'm a 19-year-old turning 20 in a few days. And yes, I stay at a commune res with a mix of boys and girls. 3 girls and 3 boys. And sure, one is misbehaving. That there is a line between enjoying life and misbehaving. And Faye, that's his way of enjoying life, I guess. But I and my other bros are just calm. So this is my first year, and the things I keep seeing girls my age group do scares me. One brings multiple boys from campus. One gets dropped by different exotic cars every 2 days or less. One has a boyfriend, but the ways she cheats with the boy that's misbehaving, you would swear she was single. So on the chat that good men are becoming extinct, I just want to say you're right and wrong. We're slowly choosing not to be in relationships. I won't lie, I've never been scared of being in a relationship like since I've come to res. We see things and I slowly lose respect for women because later on in life, they will say they were young and stupid and expecting men to marry them and asking where the good men are. I know that I also have standards and I'm coming to realize that every girl in this institution doesn't reach them. So would I be a bad guy if I say I just want to have someone that will give or donate their eggs to me, signing all the rights to me with clauses of her going to prison if she ever contacts the kids when they're older? And I have kids because I don't think this is love relationship. Because I don't think this love relationship or marriage thing is gonna work for me.
Sure. Lesego, these hands have hurt you. You know, he's
therapy,
19, turning 20.
Imagine.
And he's thinking so deeply. Firstly, thank you so much for saying your age. I love to be reminded of the age group that's listening. I think we can sometimes get caught in thinking that it's only our age mates listening. That's the first thing. And it's the full range, because sometimes we have people that are in their 50s saying, hey, I'm 55. And it just reminds me of the large scope of people that are listening to this show. And Lesego, I think you're going through a lot and you've been exposed to a lot. But in the same breath, there's this element that you're going to meet other people. It's the first year. And maybe next year you're going to meet another set of girls and you'll happen to be in a res with 5 women who are always at church on Sunday, who, you know, don't date at all and are highly conservative. And I'm going to allow you to just marinate and sit with this feeling and allow you to meet more people as you go along. Because the fraction of people you are yet to meet at age 19 to 20, I'm not saying you're going through a phase. I'm absolutely not saying that. I'm saying that you've met not even a fifth of the people that are yet to shape your thoughts, your mind, your understanding. There's so much more for you. And you're going to meet people that totally convince you that, oh my God, I want to have babies with this person. Or I want to have babies with these type of women, you know. And so sit in this feeling and remember this time where you even wrote like a long passage, like, I never want to have kids. And you must recite it the day you're getting married to say, this is actually how I felt at some point.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think if I were to make decisions at 19 and 20 and being at the young age that I am, I definitely am now at a place where I'm realizing that at 19 and 20, it wasn't about reasoning capacity necessarily, the reasoning capacity there, but the scope of experience and the scope of people and experiences I was yet to have was so small that my decisions were, based on that knowledge that I had. And that's why there's so much grace for young people to make mistakes. Because when you're older, you understand that the scope that these people have to make those decisions on is actually quite narrow. And so hang in there.
Can I just say, ne? I feel like Amarula is knocking Bonga off balance and just bringing wisdom out of Ursula. Like, like that was quite literally enough said.
Yes.
Enough
I'm
said.
thinking I want to say something, but that sounds like
That
something.
was
I don't want to ruin it.
Yes.
But
So funny.
I've quoted this story before. Sorry, guys, to digress from such a serious ending.
Yes.
But I in Bram, I went to visit, so I lived in Bram, and I remember one of the security guards saying, "Yo, now my child will never live at res. Hai la mantomazana bayawashinsha mafan." So he reminded me of that. He's like, yo, but the truth is, even what is this? Women experience this. Like, we see so many guys going or doing weird things, and you're like,
Men are just not held as accountable to
yes.
things. But we know the hands
It's a
that
phase.
change their names.
Yeah, it's a
Once the name
phase.
changes, more Sbongile. We know. We know that there's something you are trying to bury and it's fine. We'll call you by your new name.
Yeah.
Because you were young.
You were young,
and we'll forgive you,
Yes. And the truth is, you will find your people. You will find your people. Maybe scary. I mean, girls, but the thing is, we never I don't know if never is the correct way to say it, but we just never give up on love. So the fact that a lot of guys are known to cheat or are known to not be faithful doesn't make us eventually give up, right? But we just think you're gonna find your person. And the truth is, you will find your person as well.
The woman who makes you feel okay.
Yeah.
I actually would like to just briefly extend it into saying you will find your people. And the reason I say that is because I was telling Ubonga this when we were at government provincial legislator. Like, it's a conversation we were having off camera. Like, for me, for the longest time, I was exposed to women who were very understanding, women who were people, humans. That became my norm. Like, women who, in as much as they have that innate desire to be taken care of, but you could clearly see it in their communication, in the way that they behave with each other. Like, they never ever looked at the guy who drives the fancy car. Like, I mean, when I was much younger, I used to get into so many debates with guys who would say, no girl is a virgin. And now I think that's so stupid, such a stupid thing to have in you. Obviously, every girl will lose it at some point, right? Those who choose to. But like, the fact that you live your whole life thinking no woman is, but my point being, Uguti, I've learned that there are many, many women who just look at men and understand, Guti, this is a human being. He'll make mistakes. And I'm also I would also do my utmost best to honor them. And they would, if they are a decent man, would do their utmost best to honor me. When I only started being introduced to women who prioritize the flash, the optics, who prioritize a man having money and driving a fancy car, the older I got, right? It's not that it didn't matter to those women that I was introduced to growing up. It's that they understood that beyond this, there are other elements and aspects of a man that also matter. So, and which is why I say, yes, you will find your person, but I also want to extend it to saying you will find your people. Because they exist and they are friends. No,
honestly. Yeah, because people move in communities of people with the same values.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So when you find one, you better get in there. Okay, guys, that was today's episode of The Conversation Capital. We love you guys so much. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. We're rounding off. We're in the Mbur season. September, October, November, December. Right? So as we wrap up the year, I hope you guys are reflective as well. And that you just look forward to the end of the year. And if not, a lot can happen in 4 months. For now, though, goodbye and God bless.